In this lecture of business environment and ethical practices, we'll be talking about risk assessment in business environment. Business is synonymous to risk, and higher the risk, higher could be the gains as well. So doesn't matter if a business is a small or a large one, if it is a domestic company or a multinational, and it doesn't even matter which industry an organization is into, a company is working in. Risk will always be there. And these risks are basically unavoidable, inevitable, and it is something which is most of the times out of the hands of the company. Risk can be there within the organization or outside the organization. So whatever lies within the organization can surely be controlled a little bit. But what threats or what risks the external environment is posing, these all are uncontrollable. The best a company can do is to assess them properly so that it can minimize the possible damage and can fight with the this risk in order to gain a better position in the market. So to analyze, to understand what all risks are there, there is a process, risk assessment process, and this risk assessment process involves steps such as identifying, analyzing, and evaluating. Identifying involves noting the risk a business may face, like what all possibly could go wrong. Suppose, for example, a company is working in Delhi NCR. It might not get affected that much by the international trade. But if a company is multinational corporation, international happenings will have a lot more impact on its working. So first of all, we need to identify what risks are and what. Second, to analyze, or in other words, to work out the level of risk and to chalk out which ones are most urgent. Risks will always be there, but we need to keep a check on the most urgent ones so that these can be handled instantly, and something which is not that relevant or important or urgent can be looked after later on. And last but not the least, evaluation, or to compare the risk set criteria to decide what action can be taken. Identifying the risk involved doing research about past events and risk, like what happened in past and how it was dealt with, and all. Although there could be certain risks which are unprecedented, but in most of the cases, past events can give a brief idea about how the company can deal with this kind of any problem. Then possible future changes to the business environment, such as changes in economic trends, if it can be foreseen, not completely, but at least an estimate can be drawn. Then to look at the social and community issues that could affect the business. It involves looking at hazard logs, incident reports, customer feedbacks, complaints, and survey reports, etc. Review of audit reports, such as financial audit reports or workplace safety reports, can also help in identifying the risk. Then doing a quick SWOT analysis of the organization can undoubtedly give a good idea about what all possible threats or risks could be there. And last but not the least, business issues could be discussed with staff, customers, suppliers, and advisors. Analyzing the risk involves, first, to analyze the risk, one must first look at, like depending upon the urgency. Then second, the damage that the risk would cause. For example, the risk of fewer customers mean lower sales for the business. And no company can avoid the risk completely. It will have to take risk. But what risk is to be taken? For that, right analysis is required. And third, the likelihood of the risk happening. Like what is the probability of of any unavoidable and unfavorable event happening? Once the analysis part is done, then evaluation is to be done. Like level of risk must be compared to the risk criteria of the business. Every business has its own risk appetite, and it must be checked if the potential risk is okay with the risk appetite. It matches with the risk appetite of the business. Sometimes businesses choose to accept risk and not spend any resources on avoiding them, because at times what could happen, the risk of avoiding or treating the risk could be much higher than facing the risk. Second, the risk level works out to be very low if it is the case. And third, the benefit of taking the risk greatly outweighs the possible damage. If the gains or potential probable gains are much higher, then a chance can be taken. It all depends upon, again, the risk appetite of the company. Various types of risk affecting the business environment are economical, political, legal, social, technological, and demographic. And all these macro factors of the external environment must be studied in a very good manner. The risk can also be an opportunity, or it can also turn the entire industry upside down. Like in recent times, due to corona thing, the lot many industries have changed the way they were working. Lot many companies have revived their product. They are coming up with new innovative product which can match the requirements of the current environment. So that must be surely taken care of. Here are some methods of assessing the risk. First one is checklist method, wherein a checklist can be prepared of all the potential risk and all the areas where the risk might be there. Second is expert-based scoring method, wherein the questionnaires are designed to assess risk and send to expert for their expert opinion. And on the basis of their opinion, it is interpreted that what all risk could be there. It is a very good method because herein the experts are generally from outside the company and they have a better understanding of what is happening around, and their opinion is unbiased. So the probability of understanding the risk in the right way is much higher there in this approach. Then economic method, used to qualify economic risk and related aspect. Method is used for both estimation and forecasting. Econometrics methods have high forecasting values, and since it is properly like science based method, it can fetch good results. But for this, proper technological command must be there, and if not within the company can hire a consultant or an expert for this part also. Then rating and ranking system is very close to a scoring method. Countries rating is done on the basis of number of factors such as economy, financial, political risk, and weightage is given according to its importance in the environmental risk. And not only the country's evaluation is done, it can be the same thing can be applied for any industry, any particular segment, any particular geographic territory as well. So these are some methods which can be utilized to assess what all possible risk is out there, and notably no company must avoid taking risk, because unless they do so they might not be able to take a lead in their industry. But taking too much of risk can also be disastrous. If the company is not well prepared, it doesn't have sound resources, technical expertise, managerial know-how to deal with these risks, then things can go into a bad direction. But at least the assessment part should be sound, it should be foolproof, so that the company can actually decide what all risk it can take and how to go towards dealing with these risks in a very strategic and proper manner. Thank you.